Saying that Thailand's personal data law is long overdue, Assistant Professor Dr. Prapanpong Khamon of the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, or UTCC, welcomes such a piece of legislation to prevent data leaks and for Thailand to improve its standing on the global stage in such matters.
For a very long time and up until now, there has never been a regulation in Thailand that protect people's data. So you can see in the past, people's data in Thailand have been subject to misuse. You see examples of the unsolicited calls from the illegal call centers. Thailand is a country that needs to enter into trade and investment with other entities and nations. And recently it's become more clear that one of the factors that other organizations and entities from international arena look into countries that have the data protection. That's one way of saying that Thailand is ready for international standards. Many countries have launched data privacy laws. Look in our ASEAN nations, Singapore, Philippines and Malaysia.
Do you think it has been drafted comprehensively enough? Are there anything left missing that would address the problem?
One of the great features of Thailand's PDPA is that it actually borrows a lot of standards from the EU's GDPR, which one of the strictest protection for the people's data. It actually requires both public organizations and private organizations to look after people's data, not like some countries where they only look at the protection from the private side, which is consumers' data. In principle, Thailand gives the comprehensive protection. People have a lot of rights as well, the rights to control their personal data. But I think the main problem is that it leaves a lot to be interpreted. Do we fit into this category of data? Am I the organizations that has exemptions from the law?
Do you think this would create problems when it comes to law enforcement if they don't have clear understanding as well?
Of course, it's going to be one of the main problems. I think this is the beginning stage. The clarity will come, and once we get into that stage, I think people and organizations will have easier tasks to comply with the law. If this law is enforced properly, it's going to give a lot of assurance.
Apart from the initial confusion, Dr. Prapanpong said several organizations will also have to bear a high cost in ensuring that they can comply with the law in providing protection.
The drawbacks will be the cost of compliance. They have to make new resources to train people, and that creates a burden. I mean, if you look at the small and medium enterprises, they might not have the resources that the big corporations have.
Some, as I can see, are starting to try to communicate to their clients that, okay, this is what we're going to do in regards to the law. Do you think they have stepped up enough? Are they ready?
The part where they give out policies to people and saying this is how we collect data, how we are going to use your data. That's just the beginning phase, but there are a lot of tasks to do backdoor as well, and one of the main tasks is security. So you need to make sure that your system that you use to keep the data of your customers, of your staff, are kept confidential, kept in a good place, because we don't want the hacking.
Saying awareness is still lacking among the general public, the professor urges people to study what rights they have.
If you ask me if there are initiatives about awareness or training courses, I would say that there are quite a few, but this seems to be attracting people that work in the organizations that they need to comply. But then it's very important for the general public to know it's just not about, oh, I'm now afraid of taking selfies. It's about your rights. It's about what you could do if some organizations mistreated your data.
The professor also explained why the fines are quite hefty of up to 5 million baht.
You think it will create the effects, like for organizations that are going to exploit the data, they have to think again.
Hathai Teshakitiranand reporting for Thai PBS World.